today. So I will soon introduce you to my colleague sitting here with me. We want to talk a bit about Israel as a destination. I'm sure that many of you know Israel even better than us. Some of you might know less, so we will talk today about Jerusalem, which is probably the most important place in Israel. Some may say the most important place in the world. So we talk about Jerusalem, we talk a bit about the situation with the virus in Israel, about the expected date of return, and about some projects that we at SAR-EL are doing that you can use nowadays that you are still at home. And you can enjoy them and use them as a marketing tool and as a tool to learn about Israel. We will also share with you some itineraries that you can sell in the market, and we'll have some time for question and answers. So let me start with a very short presentation about SAR-EL, about our company SAR-EL. Let me share my screen. Okay, so SAR-EL Tours is a company that was established 28 years ago. We celebrated our 25th anniversary a few years back, and it's actually a group of companies. The SAR-EL Tours, which is the company that I represent today, is the tourism company serving mostly Christian market, but we serve all kinds of people. And we do have other companies in the group. We have hotels, we have transportation, so I will go through it. These are the logos of the different companies. Our main focus, as I said, is the Christian market. In this picture, I don't know if anybody recognizes it, but this is Caesarea Maritima near the Mediterranean Sea. It's an amphitheater built by the Romans. And what you are seeing in this picture is one of our groups, Hillsong Australia. They came and they made a worship tour in Israel with 4,000 guests. This is one of the 3 events we made in Israel. A live worship event in Caesarea. So this is an old PPT, but last year we served over 150,000 guests in Israel. Our markets are from North America, from Asia, from Africa, from Europe, all over the world. And we are seeing a growing number from Indonesia. We have been in the Indonesian market for many years, but we were relatively quiet, serving just a few agents. And since last year, we decided to invest more in the market. We believe that there is a great potential in Indonesia. We have known since then many new friends, which started to work with us. And if not for the virus, we would have been very busy serving Indonesians right now. Actually, today itself, we should have had about 25 buses from Indonesia enjoying the Empower 21 conference. So we are waiting for them to come back. As I said, we are serving many of the Christian leadership in the world. I think we need to mute everybody. Okay, so we are serving most of the Christian leadership in the world. As you can see in these pictures, some of you may know some of the faces. From Indonesia, we are serving Pastor Nico and others. We have a very nice new project, which is called the SAR-EL Academy. SAR-EL Academy is a series of videos that talk about Israel, different biblical sites in Israel, as well as modern sites of Israel. And I would like to surprise you today by telling you that we also have it available in Indonesian. So you can later on go to YouTube or to SAR-EL Academy website. We will share the address. You will see there videos about Israel in 10 different languages. One of them is Indonesian. And this is a tool that is built especially for you, travel agents, who might, some of you, not been in Israel before. We want to show you how Israel looks like, what you can see in Israel, and what the people want to see in Israel. It's also a tool for pastors. If a pastor wants to lead a group to Israel, he might feel nervous because he's too young, he never done it before. So we want to create a tool that he can sit at home, watch a site, know already how the site looks like and already know what he wants to talk about in the site to his group. One of the companies in the group is SAR-EL Transportation. We have a fleet of over 25 buses going around in Israel. Those of you who visit Israel might have seen our buses with the picture of a famous site in Israel and our logo. All our buses are equipped with Wi-Fi and are luxurious. Travel Composer is a daughter company of SAR-EL. This is a company for 6 stars services. So if you have a group that want to stay in the most expensive hotels, move by helicopters, have meals and barbecue on a hot air balloon and stuff like this, this is the company who can deliver this. SAR-EL Media is a media and production company. We are representing TBN, Trinity Broadcast Network in Israel, and we are giving content and services to other Christian TV stations, like you can see here. Probably we have one of the largest resources of content in Israel for Christian-related media in Israel. And even you, if you have a group that would like to have a live TV or production, we can do it for you. These are some examples of what we do. SAR-EL Market, we have several locations. Each location has about 15 to 20 different restaurants. This is mainly for the local market, but also groups, when they come to visit Israel, they can come to one of these places, and each passengers would choose what he want to eat from which restaurant, and they still can sit together. So a chance to have an Israeli experience. We also own some hotels. This is the RAMADA Hotel in Netanya. It belongs to SAR-EL. We operate it. These are some pictures from the hotel. And we are looking into expanding to several other hotels. Another exciting project that we are working on right now is the David's Harp Hotel in the Galilee. This hotel is under construction. We are using the time of this virus with no tourists to expedite the building. So it will be ready, hopefully, in the next 2 years. So keep following up. It's a 300 rooms hotel, 4-star deluxe, situated in the Sea of Galilee. Probably in the same location where Jesus fed the multitudes and where Jesus delivered the Sermon on the Mount. Exact same location. The hotel will include biblical gardens and a direct access to the Sea of Galilee. As you can see in this picture, those of you who have been to Israel might recognize Capernaum in the back. You see the word Galilee. Underneath the Galilee word in the picture, this is a site of Capernaum, the town of Jesus. And this is our hotel. So you will actually you can walk after dinner to the Sea of Galilee. And to the left-hand side, you see a small dock. This is Capernaum dock. You can take the boat from there. And I am happy to let you know that we are opening a new restaurant in this place. So you can take the boat from Tiberias or from Ginosar, cross the Sea of Galilee, get down off the boat at Capernaum, eat at our restaurant, and walk directly to the site. This will be ready, hopefully, when you come back. So that's enough for now for me. I would like to give the mic to my colleague, my manager, Uri. Uri is our general manager of the company. He will be giving us a few words. So here is Uri.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. Nice meeting you all, and thank you very much for joining us. And I thank Yinon and the team here that you will hear other things. We're here waiting for you, not in the too far future. At the moment, what happens in Israel is that the new government was just formed 2 weeks ago, and everything was on hold because of the virus and because of the political situation. So now the virus situation has improved tremendously, and we have a government, so now it's time to move on. So what happens right now is that the main obstacle is the airport and the medical checks. So we are now working with all the various authorities, and we have our mother organization of the incoming tour operator association, the Israeli one, that we are working with different authorities in order to make it happen, and what we call in Hebrew to open the skies. So at the moment the situation is that whoever is arriving to Israel must be quarantined in a home condition for 2 weeks. So what they're doing right now is to determine what are the right measures to be taken in order to receive tourists coming. How will they go through medical checks? There's going to be a quick medical check method with an app, and once you are checked and you are negative, that you don't carry the virus, you will be able to enter the country. So now they are working on the way, how will that work in order to make a sterilized area so that people can come through, wait the time. They're talking now about 45 minutes. So now they're talking about the method, and they're planning how to do it, and also how to finance it, because there's also an additional cost for all these operations and the medical checks. So once they will solve this issue, they will be able to open Israel to specific countries, and it will be gradually according to the different countries. For example, now there's a list of what's called green countries, for example, Cyprus, Greece, Austria, that will be opened once we have the right method. And one by one, they will examine the situation of different countries and allow tourists to come from those countries and go through the medical checks. So this is quite complicated because they have to, first we have to make sure how we are going to live here on the... First we have to make sure and decide how are we going.
Sorry, Liz, you muted Yinon. Can you unmute, please? And just mute everyone. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay, so now the process is that they have to determine how to do the whole process of arrival to Israel, and then country by country they will measure how is it being done on the other side. Sorry?
Already.
Sorry.
Can I, it's okay? Can we proceed?
Yes, yes, just proceed.
Okay, so we are at the moment in a situation that we are waiting in the second half of June, which means in a couple of weeks we will know better about this process and how will it work. And then we will have the process here, and everything will be dependent on the country of origin. Are they ready? What's their situation? What are their means of processing this whole logistics of people going out of their countries, coming to Israel. That's where we are at as a country. Specifically for SAR-EL, I want to update you that we did not stop for a day. The office was open throughout the whole period, and we are working at a smaller scale, obviously, and we have most of our employees are on leave because of the situation, but we are still working from the offices with a smaller team, most of the managers, marketing team, Yinon and his people, in order to create new material, in order to be prepared for the day after, in order to serve our clients. So on a daily basis, we were dealing with moving groups from March, April, May, June, to September onward, including groups that were postponed to next year. And we are preparing, we are negotiating now these days with the hotels in order to lower the costs and let them understand what are the expectations from the market, because everybody wants to open and make it up for the losses of the coronavirus, but it's not going to work. And we explained that to them, that those who will be able to come will have expectations of very affordable prices. So we are dealing now with the different suppliers, hoteliers, restaurants, later on buses and sites, in order to put together the packages for the groups to be affordable up to expectations. And we are preparing a lot of material and content and all kind of different technologies that now, unfortunately, we have the time to deal with, but things that we've been wanting to do for a long time. So now we are taking care of those things as well in order to serve you better with more content. As Yinon mentioned, the SAR-EL Academy, different technologies, so that when we are back, we can serve you in a better way. So the way we look at it, if all goes well, tourism will resume around September. It may be that some countries will be able to come sooner. Some are talking about mid-July, beginning of August. We don't know. We will know better towards the second half of this month. And we look at it as the main markets that will be able to return to the land around September. We are here, we are ready, we are preparing everything. Even if tourism will start tomorrow, we are ready with everything. And now we are putting together a plan of how to present everything so that you will be able to know what to expect. So we are preparing kind of a document that will include what are the standards at the hotels, on the bus, in the site, at the restaurant, so that people know, okay, Israel is ready, SAR-EL is there, SAR-EL is well prepared, they are working with the right suppliers that are well prepared and adjusted according to the requirements after the coronavirus, so that you know you're in best of hands. And once this is all ready and the skies will open, we'll be looking forward to serve you and your clients and your groups. So that's a general information about where we are at and what are we doing and where is Israel and where is SAR-EL. We do questions at the end, Stephen? Okay. So I would like to hand the mic to Reuven Doron. Reuven is doing a marvelous job putting everything together in a way that you can sit back at home and enjoy the Hollyland and the information and a lot of content, so that just to whet your appetite. This is not instead of coming to Israel, but this is in addition and before and as a preparation. So as Yinon mentioned, you can see everything on the SAR-EL Academy, and you will see also Reuven a lot on the SAR-EL Academy on the short films that we have there. And this is a very major part of our work that we believe in and always did, the content. The people are coming with SAR-EL to the Holy Land because of the content, because of the added values we bring. So it's not just, we're not just putting together a site, guide, bus, and hotel. We are emphasizing the content, bringing to you with the right guides, with the right itinerary, with the right planning, with the right content, so that you will have a rich journey to the bottom of your faith here in the Holy Land. So I will hand the mic to Reuven and he will tell you some fascinating things. Thank you for listening and good seeing you, and thank you for participating, everybody.
Well, shalom, shalom, friends. And it's a pleasure to see your faces and spend a little time together with you. One of the marvelous things about this season is that we all got introduced to the technology to enhance our friendship. And as Uri, our general manager, and Yinon, who oversees all of our marketing efforts, have said already, SAR-EL is the premier agency in Israel, mostly for faith-based groups. And that will include Muslims, Christians, and Jewish. Now, of course, we do also groups and programs that will have adventure, that will have fun, that will have youth activities. But I would say that the primary reputation of SAR-EL is to cater and to build programs and to serve you as people of faith. One of our buses, I think that you see what I see, right? All right. And so the today's topic, and we will be happy to spend more time with you in the coming days and whenever it will be appropriate, would be to just talk for a few minutes about Jerusalem. Of course, all of Israel is meaningful and will speak to the heart of the visitors. But Jerusalem definitely is the capstone of everything. And even though the name itself, Jerusalem, does not appear in the Quran, it is a very important city for Muslims. And it contains a lot of holy sites that Muslims love to visit and are deeply touched. But of course, the majority of our visitors would be Christian groups and also Jewish people who come to visit the Holy Land. This is one of the beautiful pictures of the walls of Jerusalem. I'll just spend a few minutes with you with a number of pictures just to give you a taste of what the city looks like. And again, as a reminder, you are very welcome to check out our academy site, the SAR-EL.com. Stephen could send you a link later on. The material on this website is continuously being upgraded and improved and expanded. These are short, sharp-looking movies that you can use both for education, inspiration, but also as marketing tools to show to your clients the beauty of Israel and the significance of the various sites. SAR-EL.com. This picture you are looking at right now is the walls of the city on the left side, one of the major thoroughway streets surrounding the old city of Jerusalem, and on the right side, the Mamila area, which is a very beautiful mall, restaurants, coffee shops, and a hangout kind of a place. The walls that you see on the left side of the photo were built by Suleiman the Magnificent, one of the greatest Ottoman Empire emperors that ruled over the whole Middle Eastern region about 400 years ago. And actually, there's a beautiful story about the Lion's Gate, which I don't think I have a picture of that today, but on the eastern side of the old city of Jerusalem, there's the famous Lion's Gate, which the story goes that Suleiman the Magnificent built after he had a dream. In that dream, according to Muslim traditions, he actually saw a group of lions attacking him. And having awakened from the dream with great trepidation, he consulted with his wise men, and they told him it must be the lions of the tribe of Judah. And so to honor that dream and to honor, in a sense, the lion of the tribe of Judah, which is the premier tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel, he built the famous Lion's Gate on the east side of the city. We will see that east side in a second. And then went on to build these magnificent walls. So the walls around Jerusalem are about 400 years old. And actually, you can take a walk all around the walls. We have a couple of walks where you can enter through the Jaffa Gate, which is the main gate to the old city, as you see this group of young people walking through right now. And you can actually either take the northern wall walk or the southern walk. Or if your group is athletic, you can do the whole walk, which is a beautiful kind of a high above ground, epic view of the old city of Jerusalem walking on top of these ancient walls that Suleiman the Magnificent built. This is the Mamila Mall that we discussed earlier. This is a very beautiful neighborhood that was built right outside of the old city of Jerusalem, a very popular place for many of our groups. When you bring your people to Israel, we will probably recommend to give them an afternoon off during that kind of a walking mall, coffee shops, children, street musicians, street theaters. Very lovely place to kind of get the vibe of Jerusalem. This is another beautiful view of the new part of Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the largest city in Israel as a city. I know that in comparison to some of your great cities in Indonesia, it may not be very large, but we have about 1 million residents in Jerusalem. Of course, the metroplex of Tel Aviv on the coast is larger, with nearly 3.5 million Israelis living on the coast, but it's not in one city. Jerusalem is one city, has about 1 million residents. About a third of them are actually Arabs who are citizens of Israel, living side by side with the Jewish and the Christian communities. And in many ways, Jerusalem keeps displaying the coexistence and the cooperation. I came to the office about a half an hour ago. I was actually almost a little late for this meeting today because I stopped on the way. I had to see my doctor, and then I went, I had a cup of coffee with an Arab Palestinian friend who runs our laundromat here in the area, and we are friends. So Jerusalem really displays a beautiful cooperation and coexistence between its Jewish, Muslim, and Christian communities. And that is something that traveling with SAR-EL, we will always keep emphasizing and give opportunities to your groups and to our guests to see that there's a special grace over the city. This is the beautiful site, as you see in the picture right now, of the new city of Jerusalem, which again, has been developing for over 100 years now outside of the walls of the ancient city, and is a very robust, hip, modern, beautiful city with lots to see. This part of the walls of Jerusalem actually is the, what are we looking at, the southern end, right? And in the foreground, you see the area that is ascending up as a kind of a mountainside that is all white. What you are looking at is the southern tip of the Mount of Olives, the famous Mount of Olives that the Lord Jesus, for those of us who uphold the Christian values, the Judeo-Christian teachings of the scriptures, you're looking at the southern wall of Jerusalem on the left side, and the temple, the Mount of Olives in the foreground of the picture, with actually, if you have sharp eyes, you see the top of the Church of the Ascension on top of the Mount of Olives. This is traditionally the place from which the Lord Jesus ascended into heaven after his resurrection. But the large area of white landscape there is actually, you're looking at the largest Jewish graveyard in the world. It stretches all around the Mount of Olives. It goes around the mountain, literally in the other side of the mountain, which is not available in this picture. A very famous, and I would say in a strange way, popular place for devout Jews to be buried into, because they are looking for the resurrection of the dead. They are looking for the arrival of Messiah, as most of us do. And they believe that since the scripture talks about the return of the Messiah who will come to Jerusalem from the eastern gate, he will come from the Mount of Olives, just the way he ascended, according to the book of Acts. Then they wanted to be buried close by to the point of his arrival, to be first in the resurrection. As I said before, Jerusalem has beautiful sights. It is a most beautiful, magnificent city. Yinon, how do you stabilize the picture? Thank you. And what you're looking at right now is a view from the Mount of Olives into Temple Mount. You can see the western side of the southern and western walls of the city. The valley below these buildings, as you see descending the valley, is the valley of Hinnom. Hinnom in the Hebrew language, which is the famous valley that the Lord Jesus spoke about. This is the valley that is associated with the burning of the trash of Jerusalem, and symbolically and prophetically speaking about the eternal flames that will never die, a place of judgment. So surrounding Jerusalem, there are sites upon sites. This is one of the internal walls of the Suleiman, the magnificent walls that actually trace back to King Herod's palace that is built next to the Jaffa Gate in Jerusalem. It is within the area, the complex that is called David's Citadel, a beautiful spot. Maybe on our next Zoom meeting, we can go a bit more in depth into David's Citadel, a beautiful place. We bring many of our groups to enjoy light and sound shows, to enjoy special artistic meetings. There's a beautiful museum there that depicts the whole history of Jerusalem. Again, you're looking at the internal area of David's Citadel by the Jaffa Gate. What are we looking at here, Yinon? Okay, another part of the this beautiful area, part of the, hard to tell by the picture, but this is part of what we show there, the light and sound shows that are going on in this place, oftentimes 7 days a week. Of course, for many of you, you would recognize this famous picture. It is the Western Wall, or the Wailing Wall, as is traditionally called. As you might remember, those of you who have a sense of the biblical history of Jerusalem, which of course is epic and goes back thousands of years, and that is why it speaks so deeply to people of faith, whether Jewish, Christian, or Muslim. This is the southern end of the retaining wall that was built around Temple Mount. You see in the foreground the Golden Dome on the left side of the picture, which is one of the chief prayer mosques for the Muslim faith, and we have Islamic prayers going on there non-stop, usually very peacefully. And right below that, you see the Jewish crowds praying to God at the bottom of the Western Wall, the Wailing Wall. This is as close as Jewish worshippers can draw near to the old glory. The temple, the Jewish temple, as you remember, used to be built on top of the mountain. And so the place draws worshippers from all religions who assemble there literally, oftentimes 24/7. Another famous picture of the Western Wall, no doubt when you bring your group to Israel, this is one of the must sites. The access is very good. Groups love to come. We usually give people a good amount of time by the wall because everybody wants to draw near to the ancient stones. These stones go back 2,000 years. This is an ancient city that combines old and new side by side. And it was King Herod the Great who actually built this retaining wall when he expanded the temple complex during his reign, during the days of Jesus. Again, another picture of the southern walls of the city of Jerusalem with another Islamic mosque on the top. Gachmani? All right, I'm looking for the next picture. Bear with us 1 second. As you can tell, Jerusalem is endless in terms of the amount of time that a group can spend there. We actually recommend that most of our groups will take at least 3 days. Some groups take a little more, some groups take a little less. But Jerusalem can easily satisfy a very robust and beautiful program for 3 days. We would highly recommend plan toward that. 2 days would be all right too. 4 days would even be better. But here's a beautiful picture that I'm trying to bring up in a second here. Outside in Jerusalem, it would be what we would consider must-see sites would be the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus spent his famous prayers. You see that olive tree in the middle of the garden? I hope that you can see this picture. I know we're trying to bring it up even as I speak, but the Garden of Gethsemane, in the Hebrew language, we call it Gat Shmanei, was actually an olive press that goes back thousands of years old, has been retained by the, I believe it's the Greek Orthodox Church, Catholic Church, that's been keeping and maintaining the site very beautifully. The trees, this one particular tree in the middle of the garden, some experts tell us may be thousands of years old, and that is one of the virtues of olive trees. They do live forever. If you don't burn them down or cut them down, nothing kills them, which in a sense is a biblical reminder of God's promises and covenants that stand forever. And so visiting the Garden of Gethsemane is one of our highlights for our groups, a beautiful place of prayer and of meditation. We had any more pictures to show? We know that one of the must-see spots in Jerusalem will be the Israel Museum with the Shrine of the Book, where you will see, your groups will see the Dead Sea Scrolls and different replicas of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Many of you remember what I'm talking about, a beautiful display of the faithfulness and the credibility of the Bible as we discovered scrolls thousands of years old at the Qumran caves right outside of Jerusalem by the Dead Sea. And so this particular picture, everybody can see that. This is from the inside of the Holy Sepulchre Church, the most visited Catholics and Greek Orthodox site in Israel. This church was probably one of the first, if not the first, historic churches in Israel. It dates back to the 3rd and 4th century AD. It was actually erected originally by Queen Helena. Some of you remember the name. Queen Helena was the mother of Constantine, the Roman emperor who became Christian and turned the entire Roman Empire into a Christian empire. Whether his motives were truly religious or whether it was just a nice, smart political move, we know that his mother, Queen Helena, was a true believer. And Queen Helena actually traveled from Rome to what was then called Palestine by the Roman regime, to Israel to study the footsteps of the Son of God, of Messiah, of Christ. And interviewing local shepherds and elders and Messianic believers who still lived in the land of Israel, she identified some of the main sites that had to do with the life and activity of Jesus, the Son of God, including the place of his burial, crucifixion, and resurrection, which is the place that we call today the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Many groups, of course, love to visit the place, even evangelical groups, because archaeologically, historically, and spiritually, it is a must-see place. There's a whole lot more to share, folks, but I want to honor your time and your attention. So we have much more that you are welcome to check out at SAR-EL.com. We have numerous short, sharp, and interesting videos that will be great for you, both for education, inspiration, and marketing purposes. I'm Reuven Doron from SAR-EL Academy, and we are looking forward to have you here in Israel real soon. Back to you, Yinon.
Thank you, Reuven, and thank you everybody for listening up. I would like to give the mic to Ibrahim. Ibrahim is the manager of the Asian department. So under his team, your groups are being taken care of. And he will go through some itineraries, possible itineraries of Jerusalem. We are focusing today on Jerusalem. So he will share with you about Jerusalem now.
Shalom, everyone. My name is Ibrahim. I'm managing the Asian department at SAR-EL. Under my department, there is more than 13 operators dealing with Asian department staff and Asian countries. One of them is Indonesia. We're working with some of you, as I can see. I can see some faces that I know. And I hope that we will work all together and we can meet in Jerusalem very soon after this era. So I hope that you all enjoyed the spiritual explanation and talk of my colleague Reuven. And I will show for you some of the itinerary that we give to our clients in Jerusalem. This is a standard itinerary for 7 days, 6 nights in Jerusalem. There is some agents that prefer to give more time for Jerusalem, but you can also feel free to cut some of the sites so we can minimize the tour in Jerusalem for 3 days, 2 nights, or even 3 nights, 4 days. This is a recommended one. It's 3 nights, 4 days, so you can see most of the important sites in Jerusalem. So there's here, I hope that you can see the itinerary that I'm showing you here. Most of the groups that coming from the Indonesian market is coming from Egypt. They're visiting Egypt on the first, and then they crossing to Israel from Taba. This itinerary, for example, is arriving from Tel Aviv airport or from Jordan. It's LMB. This is the closest border to Jerusalem. So if you arrive to the airport or to the border, the first thing that you see is our representatives waiting for you, and also our guide, and further on you see the bus driver that they will both serve you in your tour at the Hollyland. So we here made a combination of the sites that Reuven spoke with you about before, and we did it in a way that you will stay in the same area instead of traveling all over from the first day. So on the first day, on the first place that you can visit is the Mount of Olives, the place where Jesus spent his last hours, and the place he made his way into Jerusalem, riding a donkey. A way that we'll do also after visiting the Mount of Olives, you will see one of the, I think, the most gorgeous, beautiful views in all over the world. I guess I'm the one that raised and born in this Mount of Olives, and I see this view like every day. But I think that because I born there, for me it's like, you know, it's a regular view. But I can assure that you will really enjoy it. After then, we can go down to visit the Garden of Gethsemane, the church that Reuven spoke about before, via the Palm Sunday path that's going. It's a very like you're going steep way. to going down to the Garden of Gethsemane, the place where Jesus prayed in his last hours, and after then we can move on visiting Caiaphas' house, Mount Zion, and the upper room, which very close to the Jewish and the Christian quarters and the old city. We can also, offer lunches. That will be after these sites. In the middle of the itineraries, that some restaurants that's in the route that we are using. Plenty of restaurants, starting from Asian food, Western food, barbecue, local, all over, all kinds of menus. And we can also, after this, drive to Bethlehem. This it's, for example, we can visit the Church of Nativity and the Shepherd's Field, where the shepherds hear the good news. We can combine between two cities. Jerusalem and Bethlehem is not the same city. It's something like 25 minutes to 30 minutes driving. And after visiting Bethlehem, you can choose a hotel that you want. You can stay in Jerusalem, and you can stay in Bethlehem. The difference between Jerusalem and Bethlehem, it's about the hotel level is different, but the rates, it's Bethlehem is almost a half price of Jerusalem, and they can offer 3 stars, 4 stars, and 5 stars hotel in Bethlehem. So for the one that are looking for budget tours, we can use Bethlehem instead of staying in Jerusalem, for example. On the second day, after we having a good breakfast and we had a good sleep after crossing or after coming from Egypt or a long flight, we can after breakfast going back to Jerusalem, or for those who are staying in Jerusalem, visit the Temple Mount. Where it's one of the very important sites for both Muslims and Jewish and Christians also. The Temple Mount. After this, it's in the old city, in the Muslim quarter, which is also very close to the Wailing Wall or the Western Wall. We can also this is the main entrance will be from the Western Wall, so we can make a combination. Visiting the Muslim quarter with the Jewish quarter and also the Christian quarter inside the old city. One of the sites that other Christians also do, it's Christian or Catholic, is doing the Via Dolorosa. It's the way suffering at the old city, Basdawil, and it's like 40, there's some groups doing 9 stations, some of them doing the 14 stations of the Via Dolorosa. But for example, the Christian groups ending this Via Dolorosa walking at the Garden Tomb, the place that believe that to be the empty cave where, after the Via Dolorosa. Then after this tour, we can after this go back to the hotel. As I said, lunches we can also offer it in the middle of the day. The second day, for example, if we can do some history about the Jewish nation, is visiting Yad Vashem. It's one of the Holocaust Museum. I don't know if someone visited this museum, but I think it's one of the very important museums if you are in Israel. So you need to visit in order to know the Jewish people history back then. After that, we can visit the Israel Museum and the model of the city, and we can see also the shrine of the book where the Dead Sea Scrolls are kept. This is one of the magnificent museums that Jerusalem can offer. On the last day, for example, we can visit several sites. For example, Ankarim churches, St. John or the Visitation Church of John the Baptist. After visiting Ankarim, we can visit Emmaus, which is 30 minutes driving from the airport. or if you have a late flight, we can extend the tour and visit Tel Aviv, the White City, and Jaffa, the old city and the new city. And there is a very magnificent port, active port, one of the oldest, that we can offer for the groups to see. And after then, if you are flying or if you are crossing back border to Jordan, so this will be the last station. And as I said, we have plenty types of itineraries. We have Christian itineraries, and that's good for evangelical and for Catholics, and also Muslim itineraries that we can also offer for Muslim groups. But usually the Muslim itinerary is very cheap. The reason is the entrances for the sites is free of charge. The most of the sites is mosques and tombs, and most of them is for free. Whatever itinerary you have in mind, we can share with you. You can email our representative Stephen and Liz and ask them for examples of itineraries, not only for Jerusalem. We have plenty of them for all the market types that you are representing, and we really hope that we will see you all in Jerusalem and Israel very soon. And I wish all of you health and stay safe, and for sure that we all need to come back for the older days very quick. So thank you and be blessed.
Thank you, Ibrahim. So Stephen, we can answer some questions if anybody has.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sounds like very interesting and amazing place, Jerusalem. Now, as you know, we concentrate only in Jerusalem today. Our aim is like every month we will update with a new city or a new product. So keep in touch about that. But today, if you have any question with any of the presentation that was shown today, now is a good time to ask. Either you want to, I think we should unmute everyone. You can ask straight away, or if you're too shy, you can always write it on the chat, and then we bring that up.
Stephen, maybe we can ask, if anybody has a question, he can unmute himself. Otherwise, it will be noisy.
Good idea. See, I'm a very novice in Zoom, so it sounds like Yinon's done this before. So if you have any question, just unmute yourself and ask the question, yeah? I have a question, Yinon. I think there's a lot of people here who doesn't know SAR-EL because, as you explained earlier, SAR-EL has only been in Indonesia not very long, but I know that you've been around in other Asian countries for a long time. Fairly new to most of the agents here. Why should they use SAR-EL over other companies?
Thanks for the question, Stephen. SAR-EL is a very special company. Not only it's the biggest in Israel, biggest in the Christian world, so our size is allowing us to get very good prices at hotels, very strong buying power. So hotels usually are very cooperative with us. They don't kick our groups outside the hotels. If anything is missing, we are more likely to get a bus or a restaurant or a space in the site because of our size. But I think most importantly is the company itself is owned and operated mainly by Messianic Jews. We are the Jews who believe in Jesus, like Christian Jews, we have Christian Arabs, and we do what we do not only as a business, but we see it as a ministry as well. And we feel that we have a mission, which is to share the good news of Israel, to give the right picture of Israel, to show the fulfillment of prophecies in the Bible towards and through the Jewish people and in Israel. So as many people as possible can understand it better. And we want people who are coming to Israel to go back home with an experience. You know, many groups come and they take nice pictures and they buy souvenirs and they go back home. But we want these people to go back home changed, different than the moment they came into the land. We want them to have such an experience that will increase their faith and which will affect the rest of their lives. This is our aim, our goal, and our hope. And we do everything we do in light of this. So we are trying to show you more. For example, we ask our guides to walk with the Bible in hand, to use the Bible, because this is what connects us to this place. Other than this, we showed you that we have other services and added values that we can give. For example, you just heard my colleague Reuven giving a talk. So Reuven and his colleagues, we have a few others in his team that can actually come and meet your group if they are staying in Jerusalem and give a talk about a site, about the Bible, about Messianic Jews, to answer some questions. So this is one of the things we can give extra. Other things are the media. I hope you will look at our website, SAR-EL Academy. You will see that these videos are very high professional production, which we can also do to your group. So if you have a group that wants to be filmed, or a pastor or a worship group that wants to make a clip in Israel, our company can provide this. There are other services and added values that we can give. If anybody wants to hear more, you're more than welcome to contact us directly, and we will explain more. And I would like to also invite you to visit our Facebook page. Our Facebook page, I have currently about 160,000 followers, and we are updating daily on Israel, on the situation, some good news, new ideas, so you can learn a bit more about SAR-EL and what we do. And I'm sure it will give you a better picture of us.
Thank you, Yinon. Any questions, anyone? Either regarding SAR-EL or about Jerusalem?
Okay, I know that you are shy, but I can give the mic for my brother Jameson. He's a dear brother of us, and he worked with us for several years. Yeah, and sorry is that I give this to you, but I believe that you can, if you have questions or can explanations, because Jameson knows the Hollyland very well. So you are invited to say hi to everyone, and maybe if you say a few words.
Yeah, I think I don't have any question anymore, but I just want, maybe I just want to take give a testimony. As long as I join with SAR-EL tools, it can give us everything, all I need, all our group needs. So far, I like with this. I like with their service because they can fulfill our purpose. Israel, because my group is different. I think it's different with another group in Indonesia. So we like to visit some special sites that usually another travel agency cannot give to us, but they can give, they can fulfill, they can facilitate our destination, So I just want have question for SAR-EL. So when you will open again the what's it?
The border.
For us.
Yeah, that's a very good question, Jameson. I will try to ask around.
Okay,
But,
I'm looking for it,
Yeah, actually, only God knows, but we have many signs that it's going to happen soon. Israel has an agreement with 7 other countries. Some of them are Australia, New Zealand, Austria, Greece, and Cyprus, that we will allow for tourists to travel in between us by the 15th of June. So that's in less than 2 weeks.
Okay.
And we expect more countries to join. So once a country looks like a clean country from the virus, they will be joined into this club of countries.
Good.
So hopefully, we believe that by September we will start seeing the masses of tourism coming back.
I will wait for your news again. Okay. Maybe
We will give you our news for sure.
February 2021.
Thank you, Jackson. Waiting for you.
Okay.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Terima kasih Pak Jameson. Yeah.
Sama-sama.
Okay. Sorry, ada pertanyaan?
Kok ngoten Bu? Nah, tengahnya wonten sampai ngoten. Nah, sing atas juga gitu persis. Jadi totalnya 4
Oh, I don't think that's a question. Can you help me? Yeah. Okay. If there's no more question, I think you can always ask us later, and we can answer this. I pass them on to Yinon, and he can answer. But thank you for coming today. Is there anything else you want to say, Yinon, before?
Steven, I see someone ask a question. Teddy is my good brother. Are there new regulations for tourists regarding the current condition? It might be a quota for tourists visiting Jerusalem or health protocols for tourists, for example, limiting the number of participants in a bus. So it's not clear yet on what the regulations would be, but I can give maybe an example from the restaurants. Restaurants in Israel were opened 2 weeks ago, and the allowance is 85% of the capacity. So that means 85% is a closed place. Public transportation in Israel also got back to normal. The only limit is that the first 2 seats behind the driver are kept empty. Other than this, the bus can be filled. For the public transportation, it is not allowed to stand driving. So actually, it's the capacity of a bus -2. Trains are not back to operate yet, but it's expected in the coming 2 weeks. So we have some plans in our buses to put some equipment that is cleaning the air constantly. So as of now, we believe that we can fill up the bus to capacity. But of course, time will tell, and we will be the first to update you when we know.
Are masks mandatory there at the moment?
Currently, yes. Masks are mandatory in Israel in the public place. So at home, you don't need, of course. When you walk alone in the street, it's okay. But when you get close to people, or when you go into a shop or a mall, you have to have a mask. Yeah. So maybe before we say goodbye to each other, I would like to share with you a YouTube link in Indonesia. It will be the SAR-EL Academy in Indonesia. So after our meeting, you can watch it. So in a minute, I will just find it. And then I will share it with you. And if anybody has a question later on, feel free to contact us. We are here for you. Hold on, Indonesian.
Are you going to share the link in the chat?
So thank you everybody for joining us today. We enjoyed spending time with you. And we hope to see you next time in real.
Yes.
Face to face in Jerusalem or Indonesia. So here is the link. You will find in this link about 5 different videos about sites in Israel in Indonesia. So enjoy.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, Yinon and the team. And is that working? You want to show the video? You can show it. We can hear it.
Yeah, let's try, because usually by Zoom it doesn't work well.
Let's give it a try.
Let's give it a try. If you don't see it well, then tell me to stop. I will stop. Hold on. Okay, can you see the picture?
Not yet. Yes.
Okay, I put it big screen.
Shalom dan selamat datang di episode baru dari Akademi SAR-EL. Akademi ini adalah divisi pengajaran dari SAR-EL Tours dan sebuah pelayanan kami kepada klien-klien kami dan agen-agen perjalanan di seluruh dunia. Hari ini Anda kami ajak untuk menikmati naik kapal menyeberangi Danau Galilea yang terletak 200 meter di bawah permukaan laut. Ini adalah danau air tawar terendah di dunia, letak di tepi rute kuno Via Maris. Mayoritas dari mujizat, pengajaran, dan perumpamaan yang Yesus berikan terjadi di wilayah ini. Lukas 5 ayat 1 berkata, pada suatu kali Yesus berdiri di pantai Danau Genesaret, sedang banyak orang mengerumuni dia hendak mendengarkan firman Allah. Selamat datang di Galilea. Dengan mayoritas dari di danau ini sekitarnya, daerah tempat ini disebut oleh sejarah sebagai peristiwa Pernah Korazin, Magdala, Genesaret atau Sudan, semua kisaran cerita kita. Hari ini tidak Yesus yang akan ribuan mulut yang lapar ketika ia melipat gandakan 5 roti dan 2 ikan. Di sekitar danau ini, orang mati dibangkitkan, orang sakit disembuhkan, orang miskin dihiburkan, dan mereka yang tertekan dibebaskan. Dinamakan Kineret, diambil dari kata kinor dalam bahasa Ibrani yang berarti biola, karena bentuknya seperti biola. Danau ini adalah danau air tawar terendah di dunia, sekitar 210 meter di bawah permukaan laut. Panjangnya 21 km dan lebarnya 13 km di titik terlebar, dan sangat kaya dengan ikan. Danau ini merupakan sumber utama makanan tentara Romawi yang ditempatkan di area ini bertahun-tahun lamanya. Sumber utama air danau ini berasal dari Sungai Yordan yang memperoleh air dari salju yang mencair dari pegunungan Hermon, di mana terdapat 3 aliran yang menyatu menjadi Sungai Yordan bagian atas dan mengalir masuk dari ujung utara danau. Jam yang berbeda dalam sehari dan musim dalam setahun, danau ini bisa berubah secara drastis dari biru ke hijau, dari angin sepoi ke badai, dan dari tenang ke berombak. Sesudah berdoa di malam hari di atas bukit, Yesus melihat dari kejauhan murid-muridnya berlayar menyeberang danau di tengah badai. Injil Matius pasal 14 berkata, perahu murid-muridnya diombang-ambingkan gelombang karena angin sakal. Lalu kira-kira jam 3 malam, datanglah Yesus kepada mereka berjalan di atas air. Ketika murid-muridnya melihat dia berjalan di atas air, mereka terkejut dan berseru, itu hantu, lalu berteriak-teriak karena takut. Tetapi Yesus segera berkata kepada mereka, tenanglah, aku ini, jangan takut. Ketika Yesus berjalan di atas air di malam yang luar biasa itu, Petrus meminta untuk ikut dengan Yesus. Mematuhi undangan Tuhan kepadanya, datanglah, Petrus turun dari perahu dengan iman dan berjalan di atas air. Tetapi kemudian angin dan ombak mengalahkan imannya dan dia mulai tenggelam. Segera mengulurkan tangannya dan memegang Petrus, kata Yesus di tengah air yang bergelora, hai orang yang kurang percaya, mengapa engkau bimbang? Kemudian setelah itu, Petrus dan murid-murid lainnya merasa aman ketika perahu dan angin pun reda. Di sini, di danau ini, Tuhan Sang Pencipta masih memberikan kenyamanan bagi anak-anaknya di tengah persoalan dan keraguan. Apakah Anda mendengar suaranya? Terima kasih telah menonton. Apabila Anda ingin melihat versi lengkap dari video ini, atau mempelajari lebih lanjut mengenai situs ini, silakan klik di bawah ini.
I would like to thank my sister Cecilia for giving a wonderful voice for this video. She is one of us here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure working on the video.
Thank you,
So
Cecilia.
professional.
Well, really, it's enriching my knowledge when I work on the video, so I enjoy working on it. And still
Very
some
good.
videos. I'm still working on some videos.
Yeah. Terima kasih.
That's right.
Kembali.
That's great. Yeah, thank you for that. It's good to see the YouTube channel in Indonesian. For those, for some of us, we prefer listening to Indonesian, probably easier to understand. And
by the way, Steven, just a note about the YouTube. The Indonesian version is 4 to 5 minutes each video. If you would like to watch the full episode, 10 to 15 minutes, you have to look at the English one. We didn't have Indonesian yet for that, but make sure to subscribe our YouTube channel, and then you will be updated when new videos are coming in. So Cecilia and us are working on a daily basis almost on new videos. Some of the sites which we will feature in the coming future are very interesting. Sites that nobody is able to visit, sites that you have to have the army escorting you. So very interesting sites coming soon to SAR-EL Academy. So make sure to subscribe the YouTube channel. Steven, back to you.
Is it just SAR-EL? Just search up SAR-EL in the YouTube?
SAR-EL Academy. If you
SAR-EL
click the
Academy.
YouTube link that I sent, you will reach our channel.
Okay, great. Thank you. And it's good to hear exciting new things happening with SAR-EL, like the hotel and everything. Thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you everyone also for joining us. Next month we will concentrate on another area and we'll send the invite to you. But thank you for your participation, and special thanks to SAR-EL for making this time for the update.
Thank you, Steven. Thank you, everybody. Terima kasih. And we hope to see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oke, saudara
Shalom, shalom.
teman-teman yang sudah join, terima kasih ya semuanya. Bila nanti ada pertanyaan, boleh email ke saya langsung, ke Pak Steven atau ke Yinon juga bisa. Saya base di Jakarta, jadi lebih gampang komunikasinya. Sampai jumpa lagi semua.
Oke, Toda Rabah, have a blessed day. Bye.
Bye-bye.